Hey gang, welcome back. Let me just show you, I've just finished basically the process of drawing with the brushes. I just realized I didn't do any water texture down here. That's an oversight. So sure, let's zoom in here. I lowered my easel a little bit so that I can sit down. It's better to stand up painting until your legs get tired, and then it's better to sit down. And all you youngsters won't know anything about that. That's all right if you live long enough. As I do with much of my painting, the way to, so right now I'm just trying to create a horizontal texture down here in the water to simulate waves. I'm going to take a fairly dry brush then and just soften that out a little bit so it's not quite so stark. And that'll do for the little bit of wave. A little bit. Diminish it a little bit if necessary. Likewise here on the edge. Okay, then one of the last things I did in this painting was the wires, lines, ropes, lines, rigging up here. Oh, and I just realized I missed a big green net. I'm completely overlooking it. Let me fuzz in that net a little bit here. Okay. Okay, back to the lines. There's so many of these, of course, so this qualifies, the lines qualify as a, quote, highly repeated motif. That is a shape or an object, a stroke that is repeated over and over and over again. And again, if you follow me at all, then you've heard me talk about this. Anytime you have a highly repeated, frequently repeated shape in your painting, in your subject matter, you need to figure out several different ways to render those shapes. In this case, the lines up there in the sky, the ropes on the boat are, there's a whole bunch of them, 100. And so you have to come up with several different methods for rendering them. Otherwise it's boring, repetitious, yuck. And we don't want boring and repetitious. The antithesis, the opposite, if the essence of good painting is making interesting marks, and the essence of interestingness is variety. Therefore, a highly repetitious stroke is the opposite of interesting mark. It's the very opposite. So you don't want a stroke that when there's a highly repetitious object, you need to come up with several different methods for rendering that. So I've already got 3 or 4, 5 different techniques, and I'm not done yet. What you just saw me do was 1. I did similar in acrylics, that was 2. I did scratching, and I've got pencils. So maybe at the moment I've got 4 different. Now, time again for me to do pencils. I am keeping most of the detail in this painting here in the middle. Not a lot out here toward the corners or toward the edges. I'm going to start right in here. And the pencils at this point now, this is important. At this point, the pencils are very much for the purpose of texture. Very little, very, very little for the purpose of rendering, because all the rendering is already done. Does that make sense? The drawing is done. Any drawing that's not done at this point ain't going to get done. That's not true. That's an exaggeration. But the purpose of the pencil now is far and away for the purpose of texture more than for similitude, rendering, drawing of the object. And it's not my task now to draw lines on everything. If it doesn't need a line, I don't draw a line. Does that make sense? So I only put lines. I only put lines where the painting, where the canvas says, put a line here, put a line here. And that's where I put a line. Where the canvas talks to me. It tells me where to put lines. I'm not just going to go willy-nilly and doing lines everywhere. Just lines where we want them. And not so much for similitude as for just the sheer texture of the lines. But having said that, of course, I am still looking at the boat quite a bit, at the photograph, the photograph of the boat, to capture similitude. The photograph is still there to make me think of things that I would not have thought about without the photograph. Okay, I've been over all that already. Not going to repeat that again. I do think, when I first started this pencil stuff, I think it was 3 years ago, I wasn't at all sure that it was going to remain, it's so unconventional, I wasn't at all sure that it was going to remain a permanent part of my vocabulary. I'm more inclined to think now that it is, in fact, that I'll be using pencils, I'm thinking. There was something I was going to say. I wasn't sure I was going to keep them. Yeah, just that I'm still liking the scratchiness of the pencils, the texture, the overall texture that it lends to my paintings. So yeah, I'm still liking it. Okay, I think I'm done with pencils. And yeah, now I am going to take a little break right here, even though this was a short broadcast. I want the dark stuff I did a few minutes ago to dry a little bit longer. Then I'll come back. Possibly I only have 2 layers left. The fuzz layer, which is, again, I wasn't sure if that was going to be a permanent part of my repertoire, but in fact it has grown in importance. The fuzz layer, and then finally the final edit. Okay? So I'll be back probably in half an hour or so. Thanks for watching. Talk to you.